sure would. Your band don't know that song, do they? No, don't you play a note of it. We're gonna play Party all the time.
You might expect celebrities to be difficult to surprise after spending years surrounded by famous people and extraordinary moments. But Michael Jackson had a way of catching even them completely off guard. Sometimes another star would hear his voice and assume someone was playing a prank. Other times, Michael would unexpectedly appear without anyone knowing he was coming, leaving people momentarily speechless. Those encounters became memorable not simply because of his fame, but because even those used to extraordinary experiences often found themselves genuinely surprised when they came face to face with Michael. James Brown was being honored at the 2003 BET Awards, but he had no idea who was about to join him on stage. In the middle of the tribute, Michael Jackson made a surprise appearance, instantly bringing the audience to its feet. Michael even took part in one of James Brown's most iconic stage traditions, placing the famous cape over the shoulders of the man who had inspired him for so many years. Although the evening was meant to celebrate James Brown, Michael's unexpected arrival became one of the night's most unforgettable moments and a heartfelt tribute from one legendary performer to another.
Yeah, you know what? Wait a minute. Do the same thing again.
I couldn't refuse to give this award tonight because nobody has influenced me more than this man right here. And I'm happy from the bottom of my heart. Since I was a child, at 6 years old, he was the one that I looked up to more than any other entertainer.
Will Smith had imagined meeting Michael Jackson countless times, but he never expected their first encounter to happen the way it did. During the commotion at a crowded event, security unexpectedly pulled Will away from the crowd and placed him inside a small utility closet. Confused about what was happening, he waited until the door opened once again. To his surprise, Michael Jackson walked in. Of all the places they could have met for the first time, their introduction ended up taking place with the two of them standing together inside a tiny closet, a story Will has often recalled as one of the most unexpected celebrity encounters of his life.
I get quiet, and I'm like, yo, and I hear, hey, where goes? And I turn around, and Michael Jackson is behind me in the closet. I was like, oh! It's like, hey, how you doing? Oh, what? Hey, what's up, man? What do you think's going on out there? Suge and them tripping. Suge's always tripping. All that success, and he can't figure out how to be happy. So I got Michael Jackson, like, captive audience, all to myself. I'm like, all the questions I could have asked, everything I could have said. What's the glove made out of? What's Tito like? Can you moonwalk forward? Is Annie okay?
By the time Britney Spears received the call, she was already one of the biggest pop stars in the world. Even so, Michael Jackson managed to surprise her in the simplest way imaginable. When her personal phone rang and the caller introduced himself as Michael, she did not immediately assume it was Michael Jackson. Even after he explained who he was, Britney remained skeptical, asking several times if it was really him. The idea that Michael Jackson had personally called her seemed so unbelievable that it took a moment before she was convinced the voice on the other end of the line was genuine.
Personal phone ring and you
yes,
went,
it did.
hello.
Yes, it did. And I was like, hello. And I was like, hi, can I speak to Britney? I was like, this is her. Hi, this is Michael. It's like, Michael who? Michael Jackson? I was like, who is this? Who is this? I was such a dork. But it was him.
Come on, tell me the whole conversation.
Well, I can't tell you that.
Oh, can you not? Oh, but he said, hi, it's Michael.
He called me Applehead. I don't know why he called me Applehead. I'll tell you that much.
Spike Lee's unforgettable story began with a phone call he was convinced had to be a prank. A man with an unusually deep voice introduced himself as Michael Jackson, but Spike immediately assumed one of his friends was joking and hung up. When the caller tried again, Spike still didn't believe him and ended the call a second time. It wasn't until the third attempt that Michael finally convinced him he was genuinely on the other end of the line. Spike later recalled that Michael sometimes used a much deeper voice during phone conversations, which, in this case, made it almost impossible for anyone to believe it was really him.
This Michael. I hung up the phone. Michael calls again. Who is this? It's Michael Jackson. Spike. I hung up the phone. The third time. See, this is real Mike. Spike, this is Michael Jackson. Don't. See, he used to do that. He had a deep voice. And he would use it when one of us get out of line.
Magic Johnson had a surprisingly similar experience. When his phone rang and the caller introduced himself as Michael Jackson, Magic assumed someone was playing a joke on him and quickly ended the call. He gave it little thought until Jackie Jackson later told him that the call had actually come from Michael himself. Realizing what had happened, Magic suddenly found himself in the unusual position of calling Michael back to explain that he had mistaken his hero for a prank caller. It became one of those unforgettable stories that showed just how unbelievable a personal call from Michael Jackson could seem, even to other celebrities.
Excellence. And, but just getting him the basketball in the right place and let him do his thing with the tongue out and everything. You know, the tongue way out, you know. And I tell you, we were practicing. So Coach Daly had divided the team, East versus the West. So all the East players, Michael Jordan, Pippen, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, all the East guys, versus the West guys, all my guys from the Western Conference. So, Jennifer, it was a tight game.
I love a tight game.
Yeah, it was a tight game. Then we went up by about 5 or 6 points, and they called timeout. So I went over to Michael Jordan. I said, man, if you don't turn into Air Jordan, we're going to blow y'all out.
Like that.
So I was talking trash to him. What did I do that for?
Beyonce's reaction was impossible to hide because it happened in the middle of a live performance. She was singing as usual until she glanced toward the side of the stage and noticed Michael Jackson standing there watching. The sight of one of her biggest musical inspirations caught her completely by surprise. For a moment, she lost her composure and burst into excited screams, leaving the audience wondering what had happened. They couldn't see Michael from where they were, so to them it looked like an unexpected interruption. Once the reason became known, however, her reaction made perfect sense.
And he was sitting on the side of the stage, and it was time for me to sing my part. But I looked to the right, and he was right there. I couldn't sing. I had to start screaming. And I did, right on the stage. And I know the fans, because they couldn't see him, they thought I was crazy, because I was like walking up to do my part, and then I went like, ah! Just right on the stage. And I couldn't hold it.
Eddie Murphy's first memorable encounter with Michael Jackson happened in a place he never expected. He was attending one of Sammy Davis Jr.'s movie nights, surrounded by plenty of well-known faces, when he discovered that Michael was not mingling with the crowd. Instead, Michael had quietly stepped behind a door to get away from the number of people in the room. Rather than sharing a grand Hollywood introduction, Eddie's first real conversation with Michael took place away from the spotlight, with the two of them standing together in a quiet corner. It was an unexpected meeting that reflected Michael's well-known shyness in large social gatherings.
Look at the stuff that I did on Michael. It was never mean-spirited. It was always, funny stuff, because I knew him. Right. I never really made fun. I never made fun of him. But I wasn't making fun of him. He was Michael, and I was doing funny Michael stuff.
Did he always talk like that in private conversations, that high-pitched Michael voice?
No, his voice wasn't as high like that in person.
Yeah. Did you ever get to meet Bubbles, the chimp?
Yeah, I met Bubbles, but Bubbles... he had Bubbles, and Michael had a big,
Michael had a remarkable ability to surprise even the biggest celebrities without planning anything elaborate. Eddie Murphy was sitting with Arsenio Hall when the audience suddenly erupted in applause as Michael Jackson unexpectedly walked onto the stage. Eddie had no idea Michael was about to present him with an MTV honor recognizing him as one of the decade's most influential comedians. But the surprise did not end there. After accepting the award, Eddie turned the moment around by presenting Michael with an award honoring *Thriller star. What began as Michael's unexpected tribute to Eddie quickly became a memorable exchange, with each legend surprising the other in front of the audience.